Welcome to our webinar. My name is Christian Heidkamp, and I will also switch on my camera for a second. Just say hi here. Hello. We have a good crowd of people here today, and I'm pleased to present the Oracle webinar to all of you, together with my colleague, Nikolai Karpov. And Nikolai isn't so often on our webinars because he's our Oracle expert. And yeah, Nikolai, pleased to have you here. Say quickly hi, introduce yourself.
Okay. Yes, hello. I'm proud to be here and present our new release of NiCE Oracle Management Pack. We worked hard to make it true, and now it's very good. Let's present it.
Wonderful, great. So we have prepared a short overview of the agenda. So as we have a couple of people on this webinar today who are probably first-time encounters with NiCE product, we will give a short overview of the solutions we are providing, and then thereafter we'll actually dive right into the new features of the Oracle MP 5.40. Then we have a live demo, and important is the Q&A section. So it is important for us to answer those questions right here. So we'll try hard to do so. So please, if you have any questions, use the Q&A panel or the chat to reach out, and we'll then address your questions. And it's really helpful to get a bit of a feedback. So even say hi in the chat or in the Q&A area, just to have some feedback. So we always value any input. So everybody's on mute. This is recorded. So in case you want to have that question, we can do that later then in the end. Wonderful. Let's get started. So, and for those who are new to our solution, we basically are around for already a number of years. Since 1991, we are in business at NiCE and providing various numbers of monitoring solutions. The biggest one we have is the Microsoft Integration for System Center Operations Manager. And myself, I'm in Germany, and I also see our colleagues from the US offices are on this call here today. And yeah, basically our customers and leads from all around the globe with our global customer reach here. The Oracle Management Pack is not the only product we provide from NiCE. We do have a set of various management packs we have been developing over the years. And just to give you a short overview here, the first line you see here is basically management packs, integration for System Center Operations Manager and Azure Monitor that do active monitoring of the Microsoft ecosystem. Then in the next area, we have a couple of products like VMware, or also the latest add-on is the NetApp monitoring, and a couple of other databases like Postgres, DB2, and MongoDB are also database management packs we provide. There's Citrix we provide together with a partner, Citrix Management Pack for those needs, and a couple of more exotic systems like IBM Power or also custom applications. The Logfile MP, most of you might know, this is a free product for you can use to monitor log files in various flavors, and has a very broad range of possibilities that can be used to monitor your log files. If you have any questions about these management packs that are listed here, feel free to go to the YouTube channel and find out what we provide for them, or to our website. And yeah, we do frequent webcasts on those as well. So let's talk a bit about Oracle database monitoring. So a key is that this solution is one of the let's say that the solution we've been the most mature solution. So Nikolai, I have a spontaneous question. Since when we're doing Oracle monitoring? You might think about this for a moment, but I know I would think it's at least 20 years. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I think first time. Okay, I started on 25. Or 24, yeah, probably it's 20 years old, yeah, right.
Okay, my guess pretty good. So we're doing this Oracle monitoring since 20 years now. So, and there's obviously a lot of knowledge that's went in there and best practices. We've been working like over 100 customers with this, and yeah, so basically that's all baked into an architecture, which is a kind of a best practice architecture to monitor Oracle with the environment from Microsoft System Center. So on the left side here, you see the operations manager management group. So including like here as this example 2, a management server 1, and management server 2, and we have the management pack basically imported. So and then we have something called instrumentation that is deployed that instruments basically the Oracle system, and which has the agent on there. This is the Microsoft agent for Linux or Unix in this case, or AIX or Linux, which is on there and we use for monitoring. We have an additional provider and a database application. So yeah, maybe Nikolai, you just say a few words about this database application, because that's the real heart and the power of it. That's what is in this database application.
Yes, sure. So first of all, it's a native application, so it's written in C. That's why it makes it very fast and performant. Oracle provider is also an extension of agent, is also C code, and it allows us to natively add new features to a Microsoft agent. And collector uses the same libraries as standard SQL tools like SQL+. So that's why it's the same efficiency as the other Oracle tools. So yeah. One more probably that we do not connect for each piece of information to Oracle. We usually connect in different sets and collect data for several metrics, so-called metrics, to collect data in a few sessions. Yeah, and that's also the main idea, to make the performance of Oracle untouched at all. So it's really a small collector, C code, very efficient and very quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we often ask like what additional impact has the monitoring on the system, basically, and here we really have this benchmark to be below 1% of average usage of the system of resources. So we need to be efficient, pool things together. If you're coming from the SCOM side, you might be familiar with the term cook down. So we basically bring the workloads together, but also do this in the collector to basically open one connection, get the data, processes in the application. And as I said, the heart is really this application, which does the calculation. So there's a lot of calculation done in there. And then the data is basically provided into the agent. And then in the end, you see the performance rules, the alert, the monitors, reports, and all of that good stuff, basically, in the monitoring environment. Again, if you have questions, please put us in the chat. Great. So we also have that for Windows, and yeah, let's look at that quickly. So Nikolai, in short, is there a difference in the application for Windows and Linux here on that side?
Well, of course, there is a difference because it's Windows and Linux. It's simply different platforms, and even agent from Microsoft are different. But if we're looking from our concept, extension of agent and providing collector, then it's actually the same. So we extend Microsoft Monitoring Agent Health Service with additional library, and that library invoke our collector, which has, of course, the same code and collect the same data from database.
Perfect, wonderful. So, so it's actually when we tested this application for the logic, we only need to test it once. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
And actually, a collector from Windows can connect to a Unix or some very specific databases, I mean Oracle databases, and it's also fine. And the same from Linux. Actually, you can connect from Linux to Windows. So that's why our collector can be, if we're talking about just metrics and data collection, it can be tested just once.
Great. Okay. All right, let's continue and talk about basically what is new with this latest release. So we've been going over a number of releases over the years, and like this is a release with new features in there. So we actually want to quickly cover that. But before we actually go into the details, we want to make sure all of you on this call understand the concept of Oracle Data Guard, because it is key of the enhancements we did in this product. And just in case you're not so familiar with the Oracle side, I asked Nikolai to give us a quick explanation why you use Oracle Data Guard and what's important here to monitor in this environment.
Okay, a quick explanation of Oracle Data Guard. Okay, I will try. Of course, I spent months to be prepared for certification. Okay, I will try to explain it in a couple of minutes. That's right. Okay, first of all, Oracle Data Guard. So it provides high availability, data protection, disaster recovery for the enterprise data. So, and of course, so that's why it's used very often. The Data Guard configuration consists of one primary database and combination of standby databases, so parsing instances, zero data loss recovery appliances, and so on. So the members of Oracle Data Guard configuration may be dispersed geographically. So one in Europe, the second in the USA, that's okay, and it's fully supported. It means that Data Guard configuration can be quite complicated and require some efforts to maintain and control. And to address this challenge, Oracle provides a framework called Oracle Data Guard Broker. So that's why we're talking about broker. So broker logically groups Data Guard members into a broker configuration that allows the broker to manage and monitor them. The broker itself provides built-in validation that monitors the health of all the databases in the configuration. So the broker consists of two components, so server side and client side. The server side component includes the Oracle Data Guard monitor process and configuration files. So when I say Oracle Data Guard monitor process, it means it's a server process which is running in Oracle server and which make all these communications and configurations files, of course, where all required information is contained. And the client side, actually, it's very well known as observer process, and it continuously monitor the fast start failover environment. So to provide this high availability, to ensure that the primary database is available. And so the main purpose of Observer is to enhance this high availability, which can be achieved by different tools or solutions like real application cluster. But here's another way. This observer thing can monitor the environment, and in case of problems, observer can initiate failover process and switch primary to standby and standby to primary, for example. So it will be really have available database. And typically, and here's the challenge for us, observer process runs on computer that is separate from the primary and standby databases. So, and of course, since it's not on the same databases as in our architecture, it can be a question how we can monitor it. And of course, it's very important to monitor it because it's responsible for this monitoring and switchover thing. So how this monitoring works. So since we have two components, this server and client component, we also have different monitors for the broker configuration and for observer. So how to use it and how to configure it? It's very simple, because what you need just the latest version, because our collector automatically determined if a broker is enabled, and in this case it starts monitoring it, this broker configuration. As for observer, since it's running on another system where probably there is no databases at all configured and just administration client for Oracle is installed, you still need our instrumentation on Linux or AX. And then this instrumentation will also automatically care about the monitoring observer. So if we're talking about how to configure observer or broken configuration, so you shouldn't do anything. It will be automatically discovered and monitoring will start automatically. Okay,
yeah, that was already quite a lot of information in a short time. So let me try to summarize this a bit for all of you. So it's a system for high availability and and disaster recovery, and the observer is the key part, and also initiating the failover and making sure that the automatic that the standby site becomes the primary site and all the connections are established. Basically, and the monitoring is very easy from what I got, Nikolai. We just need to deploy the instrumentation, and it will automatically determine, discover, and start monitoring. Great. That sounds already great. So my question will be obviously like what do we actually need to monitor with the Oracle Observer then? And I have slides for that. So maybe you want to quickly run us through this, like what we actually monitor when we monitor the Observer and Broker.
Okay, so there is a special tool, DataGuard Monitor Manager tool, DGMGRL, and we can use this tool to collect data, because broker itself, as I mentioned in my quick introduction, already monitor the whole configuration. That's a very good point, that we always have the actual information. If it's not actual, then we have even a delay, so the last update time and so on. And using this tool and connection to the broker, we can provide information about, let's say, database status or some inconsistent properties. If, for example, standby database have different properties as primary, and it can prevent theoretically from automatic switch over in case of any failure, and the same for log transport properties. If we have any problems with deploying and applying Redologs files, which is actually concept of this DataGuard. And of course, for Observer, as I said, it's just one process, so you cannot provide more information, but it's very important to monitor that process. And for this, we of course have a special monitor, DataGuard Observer Process Status Monitor.
Mm-hmm. Great, wonderful. So I missed a bit out in the beginning when I asked, and we explained a bit about DataGuard. Like DataGuard, actually, we do support an Oracle MP since at least 5 years, and the monitoring.
Even more.
Even more? Okay, Nikolai, even more. Very good.
We started, if I not mistake, if I remember correctly, it was, I think, Oracle MP version 2, so it's more than 15 years ago.
All right. Okay, then it's been around a long time. So, and I will then ask later when we get to the live demo, also ask you a bit to talk about the other monitors for DataGuard, because obviously we just talk about Broken Observer here, but DataGuard itself has been, as we know now, 15 years or more in the MP, but we still want to highlight it later then. quickly in the live demo.
Yes, sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So this was about the first enhancement we have in the 5.4. The second one is, let's talk a bit about, we have been talking about agent-based monitoring. So you remember these architecture we've been showing where we have the Microsoft agent for Linux or Windows in there, but we have some environments where we just simply cannot install anything on the Oracle system, or we don't want to install something because it's a managed system, for example, it's a cloud system, or for some other reasons we cannot install something on the Oracle system. So we don't have the agent on the Oracle system. And in the past, there was the problem with the logs that are there, so we couldn't monitor that. So Nikolai, maybe you can elaborate a bit on this architecture we're showing here and what's been changed in the 5.40 release now.
Yes, of course. So first of all, we are trying to support all platforms which are supported by Microsoft. But for example, in some specific cases, probably the platform is not supported anymore, or it's simply not allowed to install the Microsoft agent on the system. And in this case, of course, we can use remote monitoring. So it means we use some kind of proxy. It can be a management server, or it can be any other system, even Linux or IX system, doesn't matter. It's the only requirement for that system is to have Oracle client installed. Oracle client is needed because our collector is a native application, and we use Oracle libraries to make all our calls and data collection. And one of the problem we had before is that since we don't have agent on the Oracle system, we cannot use a Microsoft log file monitoring feature because it simply requires agent on the system. But for Oracle, we can suggest a solution, and we implemented it, and we use our collector to connect database and collect the all log file entries, Oracle log file entries, of course, which are generated by Oracle itself, and then we can simply send it back to the SCOM server. And for the user, it will seem like a normal log file monitoring, so there is no difference, but from the internal perspective, of course, it's a completely different solution, and I'm proud that we could make it for our product.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for explanation. So, and we look a bit later in the live demo, maybe also at it. So, but the key important is here, and it was a customer request. So, maybe quickly for your explanation here is like the things you also see in the next list of enhancements we've implemented. These are typically not things we invent. Sometimes there are innovations we take in there, but most of the features we bring into the MPR are coming through custom engagements. So let me go a bit further, and yeah, this is a list of enhancements. So, before I actually go over this with Nikolai together in the live demo environment, so there is an important point I quickly want to highlight in a moment. So I will quickly let you know what type of documentation we are providing, because it is important that the management pack we have is really something that you can import, you can manage, you can troubleshoot, and you can work with like as a standard product. So for that, actually, we provide like a set of guides, and we update them with each release. So the first one you should always look, and if you have access to the portal now, you can download them right away, is the release notes. With a new product, there is a release note, and I'm quickly sharing this Explorer to give you an overview of the guides that come with it. So we have the release notes here. So the release notes are updated with this release, and that also gives you the details how to upgrade basically from your current Oracle MP to a new version, to this new version. If you're like a new customer and want to do a proof of concept or a test, you typically start with the quick start guide. The quick start guide, SCX means basically for Linux and AIX, and then the same, there's a quick start guide for Oracle and Windows, so you can start with that. Then we have the support metrics. I quickly can have a look at this. Basically, support metrics gives you an overview of the supported versions, and then we do have a set of other guides like advanced guides for Windows and Linux as well. And in the end, we also do have the reference guide, and the reference guide basically gives the entire overview, features and functionalities that are part of the Oracle Management Pack. All right, maybe we have a look later at these guides if you need. Now let's go back to the product enhancements, which are also in detail laid out in the release notes. So maybe I ask some of the questions, like we still had 32-bit support, right? So I think that was one we dropped. Nikolai, was there a specific reason for that?
No, actually, we simply, from our experience, we know that nobody uses 32-bit or S or even 32-bit clients in Oracle, and it simply doesn't make sense to support it. And
yeah, maybe it's also a good now. I'm just giving you a quick overview of the support matrix here, and because it's, I think, a good point to talk a bit about versions we support. And we see, I think, Nikolai, we have old versions, right? 11.2. I'm not sure when that was released, but a couple of years ago already. And
so it's not supported anymore by Oracle. Only upgrade to the newest version.
We still left it on here because I have legacy system here. This is Windows, and if you basically look on the other pages, we have AIX, Linux, and here the Linux distributions that are reporting, and the Oracle version, basically how you see that. And why do we have ready and not here?
Okay, since April, since April 2024. Okay, it was released in 2023, like the version says, 23AI. At that time, it was 23C, but a couple of years, 1 year later, after it was already delivered to the Oracle Cloud and probably even in Azure, customers still waiting for the next stable release with a long support term, and until now it's still not released. So we of course use some binaries to test if our collector can work, and because we're a partner with Oracle, but we cannot officially say it's supported because Oracle didn't release it yet. Yeah, that's why it's just ready.
Okay, then okay, good, great. So that's also one of the new features, and I think we will cover in a demo. So I would just change now presenter to you, Nikolai, and then we can have a look at the System Center environment.
Okay, thank you.
You should get the prompt to show your screen, and
yeah. Just a second.
Perfect. Yes, and perfect.
So it's just a screen. Okay.
Coming up. So and yeah.
Okay. Then probably I will do like this.
Yeah, so I see the SCOM environment and I see the Health Explorer up here.
Okay. So then let's use this.
So basically, maybe you can just show.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Then I would suggest to actually show. Yeah, I would suggest to actually show the enhancements we did in ASM.
Okay, so for ISM. Okay. Actually, it's already open. Probably that's why you asked me about this. So we already monitor ISM for a long time, and but Oracle DBAs from time to time want us to adjust monitor for their usage. So, for example, even here we can see different monitors for free space percentage. One is called free space percentage, another one is called usable space percentage, another one will be usable space percentage, and what is all about. If we're talking about free space, it can be different methods or different ideas how to monitor this. For example, ISM provides the mirroring of the data to make it safe. And in this case, we can say that free space we have, but we don't have enough space for mirroring it. And for some users, it's important. And some users says, okay, we don't care if enough space, free space, then we don't care about mirroring, for example. And also for the last features, we also were asked, okay, you calculated percentage and taking this free space and total megabyte from the database, that's good, but we would like not to use total megabyte as a whole available space, but please calculate it differently. Use so-called cold and usable file space in the ISM disk group. So all these new features, actually, it's about to make our solution available for or suitable for everybody, whatever they have any requirements or needs. So it's just an additional possibility to monitor from different point of view the same free space in the ISM disk group. Yeah. So this is about this feature.
Okay, okay, good. Perfect. Thank you, Nikolai. The other question, let's just leave this up here because I see something around data guard on here on the left side. Yes, yeah. Maybe you can just explain this. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, by the way, just before our demo started, actually it was 15:45. So I stopped one observer process on one of the system just to present you how it looks like this monitoring, and we can see, yes, we have a warning, observer process status is not running, and we can see that it happened on which system. That system doesn't have this primary and standby database. It's as I said, it's a third system, but still we are able to monitor, and we can say, okay, for this observer with this configuration, with this name, process is not running, and yeah, probably you should have a look and fix this issue. And if we're talking about the broker configuration, okay, let me then probably take this system. Okay. Okay. So we have quite a number of different monitors, more than 150 or even more. I don't remember. And okay, so we're talking about server. Probably we should go to the databases, Oracle server availabilities. Let's go to servers. Okay, for primary. Okay, for a database. We already have, as I said, for more than 15 years, some DataGuard monitors. Some were changed, some were added additionally, so it monitors different points from the DataGuard apply log, gap count, send log, and so on. But we also so actually it covers all features which must be monitored from the DataGuard point of view. But since people can use Oracle DataGuard broker, it's also important to monitor it. And okay, let me okay, instance availability. And for this, we implemented these new monitors. I already mentioned them, so they're available and you can use it without any additional configuration. So in my environment, you just need to enable them, or you can use some predefined override management packs, which we are going to talk later. So, but as I said, for now, we cover the DataGuard from all different point of views. So observer, broker configuration, DataGuard views in the database itself. So everything is covered, and you can be sure that we monitor all aspects.
Great, perfect. Thank you for this details on the DataGuard observer process. So you quickly mentioned something about additional management packs for overrides. So
yes, right.
Just give us a short update, because that's also something we added in this release. And yeah, maybe you can just give a bit of background what has been added.
Okay, yeah, it's the same for Windows and Unix, and we added a special folder, examples. Okay, well, probably we will talk about these examples a little bit later. It's about remote monitoring, which was mentioned, and alert log monitoring, and the folder overrides. And you see here there are some overrides which provide you management packs which disable, let's say, all alerts, all monitors, all rules. Of course, you can import them to disable all rules, but actually the idea behind this was a little bit different. We want to give you a possibility to prepare your environment and all overrides in advance, so you can select which rules you want to enable only. Of course, we have some predefined management packs, let's say enable summary, which decrease the number of discovered objects, because if you have thousands of systems with tens or hundreds Oracle databases on it, then number of SCOM objects will be too big, and you will have to have a lot of management servers in a resource group. And to avoid this performance degradation of SCOM, you can use some summary monitoring. Summary, it doesn't mean we skip something. No, our collector collects data for everything still, but the alert is generated not for specific table space, let's say, but for the database. And this alert will, of course, contains information about the affected table space or red log files and so on. So summary is provide you possibility to make your monitoring easier and faster. And the same is for other management packs, but they are just start point for your configuration if you want to be prepared. Of course, you can do it by yourself using the GUI. It's also possible. We just give you another approach to have this opportunity to configure our management pack according to your needs.
Perfect. There's one at the bottom, the quick discover, which is also like a feature we added about the quick discovery group.
Yes.
Like maybe we can give you back why we added a new group for quick discovery to this release.
Okay, so actually the idea is quite simple because, of course, if you have a very stable environment, then you can wait one day until all objects are discovered. That's not a problem. But if it's some kind of dynamical system and you need to add additional system for monitoring very quickly, we just created a group, quick discovery group for Unix, Linux, for Windows. Here we have just for Unix, Linux, because I didn't import management pack for Windows. It can be imported. And here you simply go to this group and you can specify a specific group or specify specific members. For example, why I added those members here, since I wanted you to show this observer feature, I wanted to discover those systems very quickly. So 1 hour before our webinar, I simply added those systems to quick discovery, and we can see it's already running, monitored, and everything is discovered here. So now I don't need it anymore. I can just go and remove those systems. The normal discovery will continue to work. So it's simply makes probably tests faster, because if you import management pack, configure it, and then you don't want to wait, let's say 8 hours until everything is discovered, you can add objects to this group, and then you will be ready to monitor and test or check something in your environment. So this is just this. So no magic. You could do it by yourself, but it's easier for you if we prepare such group, because all discoveries for this group are already configured to run faster every 10 minutes. Yeah, instead of default 4 hours.
So it's really for the impatient, right? So
yeah. Actually,
yeah, typically you put a configuration in place and then you say, well, get a cup of coffee, and when you come back, it eventually works, but eventually it does take even like a day. So, yeah, the quick discovery group helps now.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
So, perfect.
Exactly.
Thank you for that part. So we have another enhancement in there we would like quickly to discuss, and it's about multiple TNS names. So for me as a non-Oracle database person, this TNS names, ROC, Real Application Cluster, ROC OneNode, and doing all this configuration, right, is sometimes a bit of a mystery. So I thought it's maybe a good chance to ask Nikolai to give us a quick explanation of what has been changed in this release, and it's really about the high availability and what has been changed in this respect.
Okay, so about this TNS feature, when we connect to the database, we can use the local connection or TNS connection, so network connection. And for local connections, the listener, it's a special process which listens to the clients and connects them with a database. We use this so-called TNS connection, and in some difficult environments with, let's say, ISM with Real Application Cluster or ROC OneNode environment, it's very possible that you have not just have one connection, and probably you have several, and one is let's say for application, which always connects to the cluster, and it's have some load balancing inside the listener and so on, and the special connection for monitoring or for configuration and so on, if administrator need to connect to a specific instance. And for administrators, it can be important that we monitor exactly, we check exactly this system. So previously, we simply use one of the connection just to connect to the database and collect data. But it was one request from the customer. Since anyway, it's already here, we enhanced our product, and now we can support several TNS names. So let's say you have okay, here okay, probably I will show how it's configured. Okay, so here, when we connect to the database to username and password, we can add a TNS name. In this case, connection is using not the local bigwave protocol, it connects via network. Okay, but if I want to check additional TNS name, let's say the TNS name which is used by application, I don't want to use this connection to get data because I want to keep it free for application, but still I want to check if it's available or not, because it's very important that application is can connect to the database, not just the database is running by standalone. And that's why you can configure not just connection string, but there is an additional, okay, let me just click on, and you can add additional TNS name. So in connection string, you can specify one TNS name and another TNS name can be specified here. And both connections will be checked. And if something is wrong, you will be alerted about the problem. So hopefully it makes it more clear.
Yeah, it definitely, and I think for those who are familiar with this type of setup, especially a real application cluster, for them it probably makes sense if you have a simple environment. This might be, well, sometimes these are things are very Oracle specific, but
yeah.
we typically want to satisfy the needs of the Oracle administrators. Even if there are a lot of people on here today, we are like doing SCOM day and day, but we do have, and in the end, like we're talking also to the Oracle DBAs, and that's why we actually, also the architecture reflects this. So for example, we don't store any passwords in SCOM with the solution. The passwords, as you might have noticed in the task that there are taskers what Nikolai just shown, is always stored on the Oracle system. It is the responsibility and the sovereignty of the credentials remains with the Oracle DBAs. So this is key of the solution, because you have SCOM admin, you might not be able to get the password to a connection to Oracle. It's only from the Oracle box in a local case. And obviously, if it's a remote connection, then this is also possible to only connect within the permission set with this user to Oracle.
Yeah, so it's possible to hide password from the SCOM operator and administrator, because the Oracle DBA can provide you encrypted password for our collector, and you simply use this encrypted password in configuration here, or they can configure connection by themselves. So even in this case, nobody else knows this password.
Great.
So it's about security. It's also important.
Okay, good. So I think let me ask if there's some additional questions. You can put them in. So Nikolai, we got already a big praise here on our quick discovery. It's a great job. We got like notes here. So I think that's good. Thank you for the feedback. So and there's one other question, like, is there a difference in monitoring between active data guard and passive standby?
Okay, yeah, there is a difference, and the difference came from Oracle itself, because passive database is in mounted state, so it means we cannot connect as normal user. So we have to, there is only possibility to connect to a passive database using this sysdba role. And that's a difference. So if you want to monitor passive database, then you need to provide for the monitoring user sysdba role. And then, of course, what is important for passive database, since it's in mounted state, we do not have any views, only the tables. So there is a restriction on the possibility to get data, but still we can connect and collect data, and some of the presented monitors for DataGuard actually available only for passive database. They are not applicable for a primary, only for standby. And for the active DataGuard, it's not a problem. Usually it has a read-only or even just a normal open database. In this case, there is no difference from the monitoring point of view. Okay, passive and active, additional permissions, but still we can connect to a database and collect data. And some specific monitors for passive databases. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the answer of the question. So while I'm looking at the screen you're sharing, there's an additional new feature that's been added. So and you see here the column Oracle MP instrumentation. I think that's also new, isn't it? The version of
with each release, we provide new instrumentation, because we have some new features in the collector or in the scripts or in provider. And once we had a interesting issue, so everything worked fine, but somehow it was because of some specific issues, specific environment in a customer environment. It was that the instrumentation provider version of instrumentation was a little bit outdated, and some features didn't work automatically. And actually, of course, we have monitor which checks ourselves, so self-monitoring we have. But we add additional feature. We not just check if everything is working, but we also check if we have a correct version installed of provider. So here we see just instrumentation version, but provider can be probably busy or whatever and was not updated. And in this case, you also get an alert. It's a new feature. We monitor not just heartbeats of our instrumentation, but also the version of it.
Yeah, exactly. Correct. That's the provider version that is being monitored as well. Wonderful. So yeah, I think maybe one thing to add about this version we are monitoring, and why is that actually so important? Because in the end, why it's actually this way is that not everybody follows the documentation exactly, because there are different steps to update the management pack. So the first one is you import basically the management pack, and then you deploy the instrumentation. And the instrumentation can be deployed by the SCOM console, but it also can be rolled out by a packaging system. And sometimes there are just failures on that side. So that's why it's so important to actually make sure everything is in sync. There might be self-monitoring, but as it's with all the alerts, it actually might be out of sync with the instrumentation. So that's why this has been added to the self-monitoring. Mm-hmm. All right, Nikolai, is there anything else you want to show?
Probably a couple of words about remote alert log monitoring. We already mentioned. Yeah, mm-hmm. I already mentioned that we, for Windows and for Unix, we provide standard alert log monitoring, which can be used for local systems, and remote alert log monitoring. And it goes with some predefined monitors, so you can just open it and even make some additional changes if you need them. There is some explanation which explains how to do this. Of course, if you want to use it as is, you can simply, okay, let me just take this. So you see it's from remote alert log monitoring. Actually, if you already used the standard alert log monitoring, then you will see that it has the same rules, the same regular expressions, but still it's possible to change it and use it according to your needs. It's unsealed management pack, so all configuration can be changed. Starting with alerts, if you want to change alert, or if you need to change the regular expression which you're looking for in the Oracle alert log file. So it can be changed, and you can add your own product knowledge here. Okay, no. And or if you want to rename, okay, I think we are out of the time, so I'm not going to show you how it works. For example, I could restart one of the instance and then see an alert in the SCOM console, which was taken from the system. Why it's important? Because sometimes if a database was restarted within very quick time, in several seconds, so everything works, that's good, but you should know that something happens. How to get this information if database is already running? You can check the alert log file, and for this, if it's on a remote system, previously you didn't have such possibility, but now you can do this. You just use our remote alert log monitoring feature.
Perfect. Yes, thank you, Nikolai. I hope you can hear me okay. So
Yeah.
I'm just very good. So I'm closing with actually sharing the last few slides of this now. And thank you all. Thank you for first Nikolai to making this insight into the new management pack details in a new release. And for everyone else, you can go to our customer portal at the URL which listed here, nice.de, and download the management pack and documentation and upgrade it. If you have any questions, feel free to write us to this email address here. You can also call us in the US number or in the European number, and yeah, and we are always happy to hear from you. With that, I think we close the webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nikolai. And Nikolai, I leave you the last word to close this call.
Okay, thank you, everybody.